Today's episode is brought to you by Species Nutrition. And I'm just joking, I always like to begin with a radio voice. And that is one thing that gives me confidence to battle on and trudge on. And it reminds me of a great story. Back in high school, I had a teacher named Mr. Hooper. And I have to give this guy a shout out. I was a very quiet young man. And he needed somebody to do an announcement first thing in the morning for our hospitality and tourism class, and I knew I was packing a radio voice, raised my hand and said, I'll do it. He kind of cringed and said, all right, you got to be there first thing in the morning. I went down there and I laid one thick radio voice, echoed through the whole school. Mr. Hooper bolted down to the office. He stopped the class. He just left the class. He came down and he could not believe that it was me. He forgot that he even had a class. He went down into the library. He printed me off these sheets to go to radio broadcasting school. He took the time. I had to thank the man. Mr. Hooper, thank you. Gave me some confidence. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've wasted enough time, but if you know me, there's no waste of time. Everything is for a reason. Hadi Choopan and Flex Lewis. Do not sleep on these guys at all. This year, at the 2020 Mr. Olympia event, this is them two doing battle. In 2017, at the Asian Grand Prix. And of course, they were 212. And judging by the size of Hadi Choopan, I mean, I may have misplaced these sizes, or I sized them incorrectly, but I don't think so. And this isn't really a pose anyway. So without further ado, we will jump right into this matchup, beginning with the front double bicep pose comparison, and look at the size difference of the legs. And we can see, yes, there is probably a similarity in their weight. I mean, they're 212, right? Because the torso, the midsection of Flex Lewis is massive. There's a lot of thick bulk there. Anyway, Hadi Choopan, superior in my opinion when you look at the structure. And of course there is a different pose here, or not a different pose, a different version. These are clearer pictures, these ones. The first one was a little bit blurry. I apologize for that one. Hadi Choopan clearly has a better physique. He has better quads. The only thing he's losing in here is the calves, of course, and the forearms. And I am a stickler when it comes to calves and forearms, but I mean when that's the only thing you're winning in, nothing doing. Hadi Choopan clearly better. And in my opinion, guys, he was probably ripped off of this event. He's definitely winning the front lat spread. I apologize, I had to use a screenshot for Hadi Choopan. It may distort the shape a little bit, but it wouldn't matter. You could make him even twice as narrow and he would still be beating Flex Lewis here in this front lat spread. Flex may be underrated, or he may be much like a Tom Platz, a slow starter. Bad in the front double bi, bad in the front lat. But as the matchup continues, I do prefer the way he is hitting the side chest. And I've gotten some criticism the way I actually posted a couple pictures of myself hitting the side chest. And I agree with you guys. I didn't want to take the time to comment back to all of you guys that were actually very correct on the far leg. You have to hold that one straight. You see, Hadi Choopan is sitting down on both legs. I don't think they should do it like that. I think they should do it more like Flex Lewis. But having said that, I would still give the point to Hadi Choopan. Look at the big thick pec and the abs, much more muscle separation. Clearly, just as conditioned. The calves, of course, but I mean, you cannot give him Flex Lewis the point just on the calves alone. This may be one of the worst displays of a side tricep pose I've ever seen. And it's not just this shot for Flex Lewis. No disrespect meant to him. I have to sound a little mean when I call these matchups. But no disrespect meant to them. Anybody willing to step up on stage in their best shape like this, hey man, it takes a lot of guts. But either way, Hadi Choopan clearly the superior man. Was he ripped off? Or was Flex Lewis so superior in the back shots that it was just a blowout? No. Look at this. Hadi Choopan's winning, if anybody's winning this. Look at the hammies, baby, please. Of course, as always, I hate to reiterate, Flex Lewis just dominating in the calf region. But it's not like Hadi has a sucky set of calves. They're fairly small. Oh, we brought another one up, a clearer shot of Flex Lewis. There was not a clearer one of Hadi Choopan. There is a lot of detail in Flex Lewis's back, so if he does put on that size, well, I can't say that because Hadi Choopan, he put on a heck of a lot of size this year too. So either way, it'll be 2 years, but we're going to go to the rear double bi. This might be a little bit better of a pose, in the upper body, that is, for Flex Lewis. His upper body, I got no problem with that winning. But I'd have no problem with Hadi Choopan winning the upper body either. He might not be as tight, but he's a lot bigger. But when it comes to the lag development, Hadi's winning. Just huge, huge legs. Striated as well. Here's a clearer one of both gentlemen. And yes, you can see Flex Lewis, the lower back there, he does have championship type qualities. But he lacks in lag size. He doesn't have that X frame like Hadi Choopan has. Wow, Hadi Choopan, just fantastic. Look at those hamstrings. So in my opinion, guys, Hadi Choopan, he was ripped off here at the Asian Grand Prix. This is one of, like the side tricep, this is one of the worst poses. And it was delivered by Flex Lewis, the ab and thigh, if that's what you want to call this. Hadi Choopan, remarkable in the shot. One of the biggest, best thighs I've ever seen. My soul, my word. And he doesn't have the smallest midsection in the world, but it's definitely one of the most striated, and that muscle separation in those abs. Fantastic, fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final pose, and there's no way out. This was a rip-off. The judges, somebody greased their little finger palms for sure. Don't you guys think? Just disgusting. Just disgusting. Hadi Choopan, he steps on the Olympia stage. There's not going to be any of this foolishness. But either way, gentlemen, that was the picture comparison. And if you're still not totally satisfied, we have a nice little video comparison to judge on. For the life of me, I have no idea why they did the symmetry round the way they did. They had Hadi at one end and Flex Lewis at the other, so I didn't even bother recording it. And then, of course, they call them close to each other for the mandatories. It's a rip-off right from the get-go, guys. We've seen the picture comparison. Look at the video footage. Asian Grand Prix. Front double bi, for sure, Hadi. There's probably a gap between them. There's probably other gentlemen defeating Flex, especially in this front lat spread. For sure. It was also known as the Korean Grand Prix, if you can't find it. But you can plainly see it was the Asian Grand Prix. There's that side chest, the way Flex stands up nice and tall. But wow, look at Hadi, the thick pack. If he did it the way... Now here's the back shots. What are you doing, Flex? And Flex, he's stepping back. Big calves, I must say, for Lewis. It's a battle. It's a definite battle for the rear double. Flex Lewis has an awesome back. Not taking anything away from him. Hadi Choopan is no chopped liver. You can see a Christmas tree for both gentlemen. Now Flex, I have a gripe with that. He leans back way too far. If it was close in the rear double bi, even if Flex gets an edge, he's losing the rear lat. And most certainly losing this one. Oh, what a display. And Hadi looks awesome. Hadi, I think he looked over at Flex and he didn't know what pose to hit because he was doing this weird side tricep. So he basically hit the same shot. Overhead, ab and thigh? Is that what this is? Now, who would think Flex Lewis is winning this? Maybe Flex Lewis's mother. Well, now she probably would say Hadi Choopan's winning that too. Apologize for the camera footage there. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you be the judge of it, but it's plain for me to see that Hadi Choopan, he was ripped off 2017 Asian Grand Prix. That about does it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed this comparison. It was an eye-opener for me. Should be for you guys as well. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Aside from slightly superior calves and forearms, Flex Lewis was dominated in this match. It's plain for anybody to see that. This was a 100% rip-off. Hadi Choopan, I hope he extracts some revenge this year. But there's another side of me that hopes Flex Lewis improves tenfold, and they do have a nice little battle and a closer matchup. In which case, maybe Hadi Choopan will win, just to be fair, just to extract some revenge for this total ripoff. Hope you guys enjoyed it, though. Hit thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Don't forget to look me up on Instagram, and follow me there for some behind-the-scenes training, things of that nature. Have a great day, guys.